So let's take you through the grid for the very, very highly stacked Senior Rotax grid. 34 drivers in all. Jaden Teen took pole position in time qualifying by over 0.2 of a second. And he'll be joined by recent Young Kart Academy KNAF talent that's just been announced. Mika van der Pavert, aka Sonic, because he's got that on his race helmet. As in Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sega game. Devian Rost and Benjamin Van Hees ran at row 2. Jeroen Kloosman and Krik Knorren, row 3. Tommy van der Stroys, fresh for some welcome results on Apex Racing TV this week in the Porsche side of things. He starts 7 and has got the elder brother of Mika, Ralph van der Pavert, alongside on row 4. Luca Primo and Wout Kirstens ran at the top 10. Bram Plomp, Lars Venning, Kaz Boshuis, Jort van Wijk, Mitch Hainert, Max Koster, Sim van Vliet, Taicho Mink, Wesley Eckhart and Sven Slagmoller ran out the top 20. Stain Peters, Flynn Fitters, Dylan Hummel, Enzo Dickenberg, Jim Ringelberg making a return as a senior driver, starts 25th. Tim Dijkmans, Mila Sjöstrand, Marth Snell, Pat Gubbles, Mike Maastricht, Colombia's Martin Herrera, Stan Goes, Gwen Bloxil and Felipe Falk round out the 34 strong. Falk was classified last and was underweight, so was taken to the back of the grid, even though he set a lap time that could have put him in the top 10 quite easily. 3-place grid penalty for Martin Herrera for a front fairing out of position. And then also an official warning, which means Enzo van den Dickenberg had left the kart before the front fairing was checked. That's a big no-no. However, with a 17-row grid, Jaden Teen, the recent Rotax Max Challenge Winter Cup champion, booking his place on the Euro Trophy for 2024, leads the field into the tram lines. Revs rise. We are underway, and a good start by the pole sitter as they all scrabble for traction, some of them sideways into turns 1 and 2. This is going to be very, very gnarly, heading through into 4 for the first time, but they still all make it through. 2, 3 wide. It could be a bit of a moment at the back end of the field, and one does go around and then tags another. I'm not too sure if that was Milos Sjöstrand from Sweden that got a little bit out of shape, but that just goes to show when you're all battling for position. Jaden Teen is scarpered, and Mika van der Pavert in the 386 from SP Motorsport is trying to chase him down. Benjamin Van Hees is rounding out, I think, the top 3. No, that's Devian Rost. Devian Rost now up to 3rd place. The field now comes across the line to complete the opening lap. Jaden Teen leading by 7/10. Battle for 3rd really kicking off. And look at the train. Devian Rost is proverbially the cork in the bottle. Krik Knorren looking up the inside of the 345, who's switched machinery. They both run wide. Big time loss of momentum for both drivers, and there's Jort van Wijk getting through on Devian Rost. There's also one other driver. They are squabbling quite significantly here. The moment there between Krik Knorren coming into a slight bit of rubbing with Devian Rost meant both of them lost out big time. And you can just see there was the 366 trying to go through the final corner. Wout Kirstens having to work that steering wheel hard. The back end is so uncompliant through that final corner. Looks like, I think that might have been Mitch Hainert. Oh, someone's got a noisy exhaust. And, oh, dearie me, Ralph van der Pavert is going to be out of the race. The 368 has got a noisy exhaust. The driver with SR Solutions, run by Scott Swart. What a shame for him. And, well, started 8th. And I think got caught up in an incident that might not have been of his making, but Jaden Teen has cantered away into the distance by over a second. Make that nearly 1.4. Van der Pavert doesn't have the pace, but Van der Stroys is up to P3. He's up 4 places from 7th, and he's just posted the fastest lap of this race, 44.833 from Tommy van der Stroys. And the gap between van der Stroys and Van der Pavert is now 1.5 seconds. Benjamin Van Hees now down to 4th. Jeroen Kloosman in 5th. Lars Venning, Jort van Wijk, Bram Plomp, Krik Knorren and Mitch Hainert round out the top 10. Jim Ringelberg up 9 places from 25th and is 1 step away from getting into the top 15. And when I had a good chat with him yesterday, he said, yeah, it's just like old times. It's good to be back. He said, I'm just trying to get some wheel time in. I need as much mileage as I can get. As all, that's a bit of a move there going into turn one. I think that might have been Mitch Haynard on Crick Noren going through, and some drivers are being absolutely brazen, and then some. You've got some stones of some of these drivers going through into turn one. They're heading probably north of 110 kilometers an hour, and then deciding to put it up the inside. So that was Mitch Haynard on Crick Noren. Mitch Haynard not having the best run of luck, I think, last time out, but is part of the TB kart squad. Felipe Falk, who is also part of that crew, the driver along with Mateus Clever, running with the Brazilian flag on their side pods. Of course, Brazil has a whole host of talent, and there was a nice little move up into T1. Devian Rost on Wood Kirstens, but Tommy van der Stroys has literally annihilated that gap in front of him. And the last few laps, put it this way, he not only, he's taken well over 1.4 seconds out of Mika van der Pavert, and with 5 minutes and 40 plus 2 laps to go, you can bet your bottom dollar that Boeven Power's Tommy van der Stroys is on the warpath. And his next victim is the man in front, Mika van der Pavert, the 386. And Van der Stroys is going to line up the move into T1, and he gets through before the apex. Great move there by Van der Stroys. But now he's got to catch up with Jaden Teen. Now, if anyone might remember the Champions Winter Trophy, I remember that. They came into contact through turns 4 and 5. Jaden Teen was out due to a very bent back axle. But now it's about how Van der Stroys gathers himself up. He's already pulled 4 to 6 kart lengths on Mika van der Pavert. Devian Rost, in the meantime, after that moment with Crick Noren, has ended up in 14th place. Felipe Falk now closing in on Mike Maastricht and Enzo van den Dickenberg. And that could put Falk into the top 20. Van der Stroys, fractionally quicker, just under a 10th and a half faster than Jaden Teen on that lap. Gap now 2.0. Van der Pavert is losing a little bit of distance, but is keeping with Van der Stroys, so might decide to go along for the ride with him. Milicio Strand now up from 27th to 25th. So the young Swede running with the Kart Store racing team, run by Kart Store Benelux, and also part of the accelerating, you know, the program developed by MP Motorsport. Accelerating talent. There's going to be a move between two teammates into turn one. Oh, dearie me, that was literally, I nearly needed a defibrillator on standby here in the office, but Mitch Haynard's going to get a move done through. That would have been Lars Vennick on Bram Plomp, and that just goes to show how quickly one dice with a teammate or another driver, and you're the one on the outside and you're having to play second fiddle a little bit, you can lose positions. And by that sense of the imagination, Bram Plomp, I think, lost quite a few. 3¼ minutes to go, and Jaden Teen is keeping up the same pace. Van der Stroys is matching him, not bettering him, matching him, and that's a big, big point. The fact that Jaden Teen still has a 2-second lead. Mika van der Pavert is keeping with Tommy van der Stroys. They are all running within about half a tenth of a second. Julian Klausmann in 4th, who is 7/10 behind Mika van der Pavert, has the opportunity to close on and is about a 10.5 quicker than the 386 in 3rd place. Jim Gringelberg now into the top 20. Felipe Falk now up 15 places to 34th, from 34th on the grid to 19th. Jaden Teen now starting to expand that gap ever so slightly between himself and Tommy van der Stroys. Gap now just under 2.15 seconds, as we are now on to lap number 11. 2¼ minutes still to go. Still plenty of battles happening up and down the order. Martin Herrera gets past Mike Maastricht for 26th place. Stain Peters and Ralph van der Pavert are out on lap 2. Taicho Minkin, the number 364, is 32nd and running last at the moment. But Jaden Teen at the minute seems to have the measure of everybody else, seems to have their number at this moment, and is comfortably pulling away into the distance. This battle here, this is a 5-kart squabble. Krik Knoren behind Bram Plomp, and I think tried to go for the move up. Was trying to go through for the move up the inside into turn 1, but he's going to try it turn 4. Mitch Haynett gets compromised. Oh, big loss there for Mitch Haynett. Casbos House in the 363, now moving over to SP Motorsport and Stan Pex's crew, also factoring into this one. So Mitch Haynett, as soon as Krik Knoren went for the move on Bram Plomp, Haynett found himself with absolutely nowhere to go and then just lost out 2 places at that point, which also included, I think, Sam Van Vliet. Just under 60 seconds to go, so we'll have 4 more laps, including this one, remaining on this senior Rotax pre-final. I think Luca Grima might have just got through on Lars Venink going through into turn 1. Wesley Eckhart gets past Stan Goose for 22nd position, but this battle here, you've got Krik Knoren leading that's an 8-kart train for 7th. So Knoren's got to be very, very wise to the fact of what is happening behind. That's the big, crucial question that needs to be answered. 3 laps to go. Gap between first and second is now nearly 2.4. Meantime, battle for third has heated up as Julian Klausmann has closed in on Mika van der Pavert for 3rd place. Gap between them was about 1/10.5 to the decimal point, and Klausmann looked possibly to dive up the inside on van der Pavert through at turn 5. Van der Pavert just parked it on the racing line and went, no, that's not going to happen now, I'm afraid. You are not going to take 3rd from me. Timer has now officially expired. So the biggest bone of contention now is going to be who's going to be 3rd. Jaden Teen has literally led and cantered away into the distance. It's been a comfortable one for the 359, who's going to be competing in the Euro Trophy this year. Also admitted to me a little bit earlier on this weekend, might decide, like I did last year, to do some races in the UK. Of course, he's aligned with European powerhouse Dan Holland Racing, run by multi-time British karting champion Dan Holland. It's a great plethora of talent. Jort van Wijk in 6th, who started 14th on the grid, has the new fastest lap of the race. 44.384, but Klausmann battling away with van der Pavert. There's going to be 1 more lap to go, and Jaden Teen will have 1,100 metres of the Euro final layout here at Circuit Park Berghem to go. Last lap is underway. Klausmann starts to go for the move. Van der Pavert goes defensive into turn 1 and holds on with stern conviction. Jort van Wijk, in the meantime, has got past Benjamin Van Hees. There's your race leader, Jaden Teen. If you haven't seen him that much on the screen, it's because he's been doing an absolutely fantastic job at the front end of the field. It's been nigh on perfection for Jaden Teen. Put it on pole position in time qualifying. And man who has also hit the podium at the Grand Finals before. For Team Netherlands, did that at 2021 as a junior, finishing as the runner-up. But Jaden Teen is going to power from lights from the national flag to the checkered flag here at Berghem to pick up the win after 16 laps. Tommy van der Stroys from 7th on the grid to finish 2nd, 2.85 seconds adrift. Mika van der Pavert, Julian Klausmann, Jort van Wijk make up the top 5. Van Wijk started 14th, finished in 5th. Benjamin Van Hees, Krik Knoren, Casbos House, Siem Van Vliet and Mitch Haynett round out the top 10. Bram Plomp, Devian Rost, Luca Brima, Wout Kirstens, Lars Venink ran at the top 15. 18 places. Biggest mover so far today. Felipe Falk in the number 378, up from 34th to 16th at the flag, ahead of Max Costa, Dylan Hummel, Jim Ringelberg up to 19th, ahead of Enzo van den Dickenberg. They complete the top 20. Sven Slagmolen, Wesley Eckhart, Stangels, Gwen Bloxhill, Martin Herrera, Mille Sjöstrand, Mike Maastricht, Tim Dykman's Puck Gubbles and Flynn Fitters round out the top 30, with Marth Snell and Tai Cho Mink being the last of the classified finishers, all completing 16 laps, with Stain Peters and Ralph van der Pavert out on lap 2.